I'm going to move on to what I mentioned in the Around the League segment because, boy, baseball, huh? Baseball. People complain about the pace of the game. They complain about that there's not enough action. Yeah, the ball's in play for 45 minutes of the 3 hours that are that the game takes to finish. But now it's starting to be a little more entertaining. And honestly, to me as a baseball fan, I've always loved baseball. It's always been entertaining to me. But to the outside fan, we get younger players producing, which is fantastic. And we have guys doing dances and stuff at second base and, doing these things when they get on base. And that's cool. Bat flips and all that when they hit big-time home runs. That's awesome, in my opinion. Now, people may disagree, like old-timers and people who follow the game, who were diehard guys back in the 60s, 70s, and even the 80s. They couldn't do that. If you celebrated a base hit like they do today, you're going to get one in the ear hole back then. It's just a different generation now, and I love it. Like Bryce Harper's got that Make Baseball Fun Again hat or whatever. But now you look at baseball and people are doing these things, their dances and whatnot. Look at the NBA. You have these old-time baseball fans watch one NBA game. My goodness. 7 minutes into game 3, I think it was Richard Jefferson or J.R. Smith or whoever it was. They were pumping the crowd up. They were doing all these dances, talking crap to the bench. And it was 7 minutes into the first quarter of game 3 of the NBA Finals. Now, I liked it. I love it. I love to see the emotion. But if you're an old-timer and you hate to see that kind of stuff, that'll piss you off a bit and that'll turn you off. Like, even in football, I saw a story, and I should have probably mentioned this around the league. I saw this story where Cam Newton's not going to dab anymore, which in my opinion, good. I didn't like it. I thought it was annoying. And I personally, now, boy, if I talk about Cam Newton real quick, I don't see what other people are seeing in the fact that he's not this totally non-arrogant, he's a self-person. I don't know, whatever. I'll touch on maybe Cam Newton another time once football season starts, but it's baseball season. And I wanted to get in this conversation because it's an important one. We've seen 2 instances this baseball season where high-end baseball guys like Jose Bautista and Manny Machado, they're getting plunked on purpose, right? And it's turned into something very ugly, very, very ugly. Let's go back to Texas. Now, I guess Texas was still really pissed off at Jose Bautista for hitting one of the greatest home runs of all time, and his actions after the fact. The ball cleared the wall, and the fans were going nuts in Game 5 of the ALDS to put him ahead in the late. I think it was the 8th inning. Boy, you still hold that grudge, and they did in Texas. Now, I guess they hated the fact that Bautista flipped his bat the way he did, and they were pissed, so they hit him in one of the series earlier this season. And as a result, if you didn't see it, I'm sure you did, Jose Bautista did sort of according to the game's rules now, that was a dirty slide that he did into second base on a ground ball, and Rougned Odor took exception. And it looks also, if you watch the clip, it looked like Odor was trying to spike Bautista with the ball as he was throwing it to first base to turn double play. It didn't look like he had any intention of turning that double play. And yeah, it looks like he's trying to get out of the way, and because of the slide, his arm angle was it forced him to throw the ball wildly, but at the same time, it looked like he was trying to throw the ball straight down and hit Bautista. Now, dirty player, Odor, he's dirty player. But he laid a haymaker on Bautista that will be watched for the rest of baseball history. As long as baseball is a part of, current eras or whatever the fact, that's going to be shown over and over again because it was awesome. And another happening. Now, this pisses me off because Yordano Ventura has been doing this ever since he's come into the league. And he'll show you up on the mound. He's this young kid, and he knows he's good. He is. He's fantastic. Electric stuff. Throws upper 90s, 96, 98, touches 100 here and there. But what he did to Manny Machado was absolutely disgusting. Now, earlier in the game, he brushed him back, and Machado he didn't like it. And then his next at bat, Ventura, first pitch, reared back. Now listen, he was sitting 94, 96 all game, but this instance, he reared back and threw 99 right to the freaking kidney. Now, I'd be pissed. Oh man. You throw your hardest pitch of your start intentionally to hit somebody. A 99 mile an hour fastball is a deadly weapon. Now, granted, it was low. And old time baseball people are like, to police themselves on the field, you could get shown up, pitcher's going to hit them on purpose, show the other team who's boss. No, you don't hurt intentionally somebody with a deadly weapon. And man, that poor Machado, it hurt him so bad that he as soon as he took a step out of the box, it looked like he was going to collapse. But he charged the mound, and now another brawl ensued. Machado's been sort of a hothead himself. If you recall, last season, he threw his bat intentionally at Josh Donaldson because they had their differences in a series with Toronto. That was interesting, but in this instance, totally Ventura is at fault, and he got a 9-game suspension. Mike Pelfrey, I believe it was, got a 10, or no, it was Ian Kennedy, got a 10-game suspension, and what does Ian Kennedy throw, 91? Yordano Ventura gets 9 games. He's appealing. Machado, I believe, gets 4. Well, yeah, obviously Machado needs to get suspended, but this is a problem. Now, I'm not going to bash on Commissioner Rob Manfred because I believe, has been a very, very nice addition to the game of Major League Baseball. Honestly, it's been a breath of fresh air. I believe he's done a lot of things to have helped the game, like influencing younger players to be themselves and be excited on the field, which is awesome, as well as quickening the pace of the game, adding timers in between innings and between pitches, and baseball hitters can't stand outside the box for an extended period of time, or else you'll get called a ball or whatever the rule is. Not a ball, but whatever the rule is. So far so good. And I think Manfred, what he's doing is he's allowing players to police themselves on the field. And I respect Joe Madden's philosophy, because what Joe Madden does is, I'm not going to start anything, but I'll damn well finish. Because what we saw with the Cardinals, with the Cubs, and what I like about what he said is, you're going to intentionally hit our guy? Fine, we're going to go to first base and score 6 more runs on your ass because we're already beating you, so go ahead. Now, we're not going to play that kind of game. We're not going to intentionally throw at someone, especially the other team's best player, to send a message or to hurt a guy. That's just not the way the game should be played. I hate it when pitchers hit people on purpose. I absolutely hate it. Now, people like the old timers are saying you have to have that in the game so people can, avoid confrontations. Now, in the American League, like with Ventura, why don't you get in the freaking box? And why don't you sit there while a guy throwing 95 comes right at you? There's a DH in the AL. There's not going to be a pitcher that's going to, he's protected. So somebody else on the team is going to have to get plunked for you, because there's going to be retaliation, obviously, if you're going to do something like that. And that, quite frankly, pisses off the rest of the team. Now, I bring up Ventura because this has happened over and over again. And if you look at the clip of Machado charging the mound, Salvador Perez, all-star catcher, one of the best catchers in baseball, arguably the best catcher in baseball, kind of nonchalantly was like, "Oh no, Machado, no, don't go after Ventura, no." He didn't really make an effort to stop him charging the mound, which I appreciate, because I'm sure they're all sick of his antics. He'll stand there, ground ball back to the pitcher, grab it, field it, stare down the runner going down to first, and then flip it over to first, and then he'll continue to stare down the hitter. Like, what are you trying to accomplish there, Mr. Ventura? Are you trying to be intimidating? Are you trying to say that you're terrible, because you hit a ground ball back to the pitcher? Like, I just don't understand the thought process of Ventura and the why he always is an instigator in the game. And there is no room for that. Absolutely none. And that pisses me off. I just wanted to get that in there because we've seen it. I mean, even it was the Twins and the White Sox. Jose Abreu, White Sox, arguably their best player, franchise player, he got hit intentionally. Bench is cleared. Stuff happens, and enough is enough. You don't need that in the game. I believe, like I said, this isn't on Commissioner Manfred. He's doing a very good job. And he's got more on his plate in terms of budget cap, salary cap and collective bargaining agreements and all that sorts to worry about, other than the fact that people are throwing punches and haymakers and almost knocking people out on the field. So players can police themselves, but for the love of God, Ventura, just go away. You're just enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. Okay. All right. So baseball talk, baseball, fight, boxing night, right? On the field, whatever.